The Warriors are now 5-1 since adding Jimmy Butler to the mix, and just like that, they've reinserted themselves into the playoff picture as a real threat for a deep run. How does one player flip a struggling lower seed into a legit conference finals contender? Simple. Butler fills a role the Warriors have always leaned on in their championship DNA. And if the rest of the league doesn't catch on soon, we could be witnessing the beginning of a chase for ring number 5 in the Jimmy Butler hasn't just boosted the Warriors' performance, he's reignited the fire in Stephen Curry and Draymond Green. The belief that they could still reach the mountaintop. It's alive, and Butler brings exactly what they were. A dependable secondary scorer who can take over a game when needed. And he's doing it at an elite level. But it's not just about buckets. One of the biggest shifts, the Warriors are finally surviving and thriving during the minutes. With Butler taking control of the offense, Brandon Pajimski looks like the high-energy spark they loved last season, and Moses Moody's confidence is climbing. The ripple effect is real, and the Warriors suddenly look like a team no one wants to face. Moses Moody has taken a notice, and even rookie big man Quinton Post, who was grinding in the G League earlier this season, is now thriving in his new. The energy shift is undeniable across the roster. A perfect example: Sunday's dominant win over the Dallas Mavericks. Late in the game, Golden State went on a run that completely unraveled the Mavs, all without Steph Curry on the floor. In an 11-minute stretch, the Warriors outscored Dallas by 14 points with Jimmy Butler leading the charge, while Curry. That's been the defining story since Butler's arrival. Over the last 6 games, Golden State is a +30 during the non-minutes. Compare that to the brutal -90 in those same stretches during the first 51 games of the season, and it's clear this is a different team. Butler's presence has turned what used to be their weakest moments into stretches of strength. And just like that, the Warriors feel dangerous again even when Steph's on the bench. Jimmy Butler has been a complete game changer, especially for Stephen Curry, no longer forced to drag the team out of deficits every time he checks back in. Curry now often returns to the floor with a lead, thanks to Butler's work. That's allowed him to play more freely, pick his spots, and conserve energy for crunch time. What makes this duo so special is their versatility. They can dominate the floor together, or be staggered to keep the pressure on for a full 48 minutes. That kind of flexibility is something the Warriors haven't had since their championship core was in full swing. Butler hasn't just given Golden State another elite scorer, he's filled a void that's been empty since the Andre Iguodala days. He's that do-it-all Swiss Army knife. The guy who makes the right pass, keeps the ball moving, and unlocks easy offense, something they've missed with Andrew Wiggins, who, while valuable, never brought consistent playmaking to the table. With Butler in the mix, the Warriors' offense feels alive again, balanced, unpredictable, and far more dangerous. Opportunities when Curry or Draymond didn't always have to be the ones initiating plays anymore, and that's a massive shift. With Jimmy Butler, the Warriors finally have another trusted decision-maker with the ball in his hands. His playmaking, often overlooked, is quietly elite, and he's already had some clutch moments that showcase just how impactful his passing is. No, take this play against DeMar DeRozan. Butler isolates, blows by him, draws multiple defenders, then fires a laser to Curry in the far corner, buzzer-beating 3. Nothing but net. Or rewind to the Houston game. Draymond sets a screen. Butler gets a switch onto Sanguina mismatch. The defense collapses, and just as they lose sight of Steph for a split set, Butler threads a perfect pass for a backdoor layup. These quick reads, these precision passes, that's what Golden State was starving for. Someone who can find Curry, in motion, on time, and on target, as he dances off ball. Before Butler joined, the burden fell heavily on Green to create. But behind the scenes, Draymond was sounding the alarm to the front office. They needed another guy, another fiery, defensive-minded competitor who could bring toughness and hold teammates night in and night out. Andre Iguodala did that in past championship runs. So did David West and Andrew Bogut. Now, Draymond believes Jimmy Butler is that the voice, the edge, the heartbeat this team needs in its next chapter. And clearly, the confidence is spreading.
Second three, as Curry hits back-to-back triples. And he just gave the good night sign as well towards the Mavs bench.
That Steph Curry busting out the night-night celebration in the third quarter. Oh yeah, and that says everything you need to know. With just under 3 minutes left in the third against Dallas, Curry let one fly from deep, turned away as it splashed in, and calmly tucked the Mavericks in for the night way ahead of schedule. Normally, he saves that move for when the game is completely sealed. His one unbreakable rule: never do it unless you're sure the win is locked. But this time there was zero doubt. It also had some history behind it. Back on February 12th, when the Mavericks beat Golden State in Dallas, PJ Washington mocked Curry's signature celebration. The twist: Washington wasn't even playing in that game. The gesture didn't sit right with the Warriors, and when Steph got his shot at payback, he didn't hesitate. Still, this wasn't just about settling a score, it was a statement, a reflection of the confidence pulsing through this revamped Warriors squad. After the game, Curry made it clear they're not just here to compete. They're here to remind everyone exactly who they are. Curry kept it cool after brushing off the moment with trademark.com. The night-night stuff is never really planned. It's just whenever I'm feeling it, and you gotta be good to do it. he said with a grin. But let's zoom out. Just a month ago, this was a completely different. But after every gut-wrenching loss, Curry was at the podium with a heavy heart and furrowed brow. The season looked like it was slipping through their fingers. Fast forward to now, he's putting teams to bed before the fourth quarter even starts. This is the most swagger we've seen from the Warriors since the 2022 NBA Finals, when Curry famously pointed to his ring finger and sealing his fourth title in legendary fashion. And you know who saw this come? Draymond. During All-Star Weekend, he went on TNT and made a bold declaration that had people raising eyebrows. But looking at the way this team is clicking post-Butler, it doesn't sound so crazy anymore.
Brought back that belief, and I think we're going to win the championship.
Say that one more time so that everybody here can
say that with your chest. I'm sorry. I said I think we're going to win a championship, but I lied. We are going to win the championship.
Wow.
At the time, Draymond's comments felt more like hopeful hype than hard truth. But he wasn't just talking, he was pulling from deep experience. He knows what a championship caliber team feels, and for most of the season, the Warriors were almost there. The effort was close, not quite enough. Then Jimmy Butler walked through the door. Suddenly, that lingering gap, one you couldn't quite define, was filled. Draymond said it best. The reason we all felt we couldn't quite get over the hump was because there was a missing piece. That piece isn't missing anymore. That piece is him. Since Kevin Durant's departure in 2019, the Warriors have been on a quest to find that same mix of elite talent, grit, and championship DNA. They went after LeBron, tried to land Paul George and Lauri Markkanen, even came dangerously close to reuniting with KD. The framework for a deal with Phoenix was there until Durant shut it down. But all roads led to a player who didn't just need a change of scenery, he needed the right one. A place where his grit and leadership could not only shine but elevate. And for the Warriors, Butler brought exactly what they'd been missing. Draymond nailed it. Jimmy almost won a championship leading a team twice. He just needed a little more to get over the hump. And we needed a little more to get over the hump. You put those two together, and now you've got this guy with an undying passion to win, surrounded by guys who've done it before and are starving to do it one more time. The results, they speak for them. Since Jimmy Butler's arrival in Golden State, Warriors have flipped the switch and fast. They're firing on all cylinders now. The defense is airtight, the offense is clicking, and the chemistry, it's undeniable. Their recent blowout win over Dallas 126-102 sent a clear message. This team means business. That dominant performance wasn't just a fluke. It was a glimpse of a squad that looks every bit like a title contender. Before Butler came to town, the Warriors were struggling to find rhythm. They hovered around the middle of the league, 10th in defensive rating, 18th offensively, and 16th in net rating, numbers that didn't inspire much confidence. But now it's a different story. Since the blockbuster trade, Golden State has gone 5-1, and the stats are catching up to the eye test. Over that stretch, they've climbed to 6th in offensive rating, 3rd in defense, and 5th overall in net rate. With momentum building and Butler fitting right in, the Warriors are making it clear they're not just back in the conversation. They're coming for the crown. Contender, historically championship, no. Only a select few teams rank in the top 10 for both offense and defense, and the Warriors are knocking on that door, sitting just outside the top 5 in both categories. To put it into perspective, only 2 other teams are in this elite company, the Boston Celtics and the Oklahoma City Thunder. When I made my list of top title contenders, the Celtics and Thunder were my clear number 1 and 2. But with Golden State's recent surge and these impressive numbers, they're forcing their way into the conversation now. I know some of you weren't too thrilled when I ranked the Warriors in the top 10. I saw plenty of comments saying that Rockets or Lakers deserved to be ahead of them. But honestly, I don't see it. I had Golden State at number 10 mainly due to the small sample size, just 6 games, but if they keep this up over the next 10 to 20 games, they'll only rise higher in the rankings. And let's not overlook Jimmy Butler. He's proving to be the perfect fit for this Warriors team, filling a role similar to Andre Iguodala but with a much more dynamic offensive game. One of his standout strengths is his ability to draw fouls. He's averaging 9.2 free throws, keeping opponents on their toes and giving the Warriors even more firepower. Butler's ability to get to the free throw line, averaging 9.2 attempts per game, isn't just about adding easy points to the board. It's actually a huge asset for the Warriors in ways that often go unnoticed. Every trip to the line gives his teammates valuable rest, even while the game is still going on. Think about it. Free throws take around 30 seconds to a minute, which gives Curry and Draymond a chance to catch their breath. When they're on the court, they get a quick breather without losing momentum. When they're on the bench, they get a nice extended rest. For veteran players, that's a game changer. It keeps them fresh and sharp as the game progresses, and that makes a big difference in the long haul. Some might think this is a bit of an overreact, but trust me, this is a real advantage. Offensively, Butler is lethal in the mid-range, draining jumpers effortless. On the defensive end, he's a stone wall, always competing, sliding his feet, and playing with that relentless intensity we've come to expect from him right now. The confidence in the Warriors locker room is off the chart. Steph and Draymond have been firing on all cylinders, and with Butler's impact, they're truly dangerous. The Warriors have reached the mountaintop 4 times, and their belief in this current squad isn't just empty talk. Golden State genuinely feels they have what it takes to claim another title this. And here's the kicker there. You can't even tell them they're wrong. They've earned that confidence, having already proven it 4 times. As Draymond put it, he knows what a title contender looks like, and right now, he's convinced. Only time will tell if he's right. But one thing's for sure, the Warriors are all. Personally, I still have 9 teams ahead of them in my title contender rank. But if you're curious to see which teams Golden State will need to overcome on their path to the playoffs, check out that full breakdown right now.